The early morning sunlight filtered through the curtains, casting a golden hue over the room. You stood in bed, stretching your limbs before groaning at the side beside you. Jungkook sprawled out like he owned the place, his hair a mess and his arm annoyingly close to your side of the bed. Move over, coconut head, you grumbled, shoving his arm away as he sat up. You are taking up too much space. Jungkook cracked one eye open, his lips curling into a smirk. Why don't you sleep somewhere else if you have so much problem? I can't believe I'm stuck with you for life. You scoffed, running a hand through your hair. Get out of that delusion. I'm not staying with you for life. This arrangement is temporary until I graduate. Then I'm gone. For a split second, something flickered in Jungkook's eyes, something almost like hurt, but it was gone as quickly as it appeared, replaced by his usual cocky demeanor. He let out a dramatic sigh, throwing his arms behind his head. Oh, thank God, the last thing I need is to be permanently tied to a nerd. Can you imagine what that would do to my reputation? He snickered, shaking his head. Jungkook, the most popular guy in school, secretly married to the class nerd. Sounds like the plot of a bad drama. You rolled your eyes. And you think I want to be known as the wife of a brainless musclehead who barely scraps by in exams? Please, you might think you are a superstar in college, but you're actually just the campus clown. Jungkook sat up, his smirk dropped. Watch your mouth, nerd. You are talking to the guy everyone wants to be. You raised an unimpressed eyebrow. Yeah, well, you're talking to the girl who doesn't give a damn. Now move, I'm using the bathroom first. Jungkook was quicker, hopping out of the bed before you could react. Not a chance, he said, bolting towards the door. You lunged after him, grabbing onto the back of his t-shirt. Oh no, you don't. I woke up first. Jungkook yanked himself free, slipping into the bathroom and slamming the door shut in your face. Too slow, nerd. Maybe if you weren't buried in books all the time, you would have faster reflexes. You banged on the door. Jungkook, get out, or I'll tell everyone that you don't. That I what, nerd? That I'm too handsome for you? That I'm the best thing to happen to this house? He snorted from inside the bathroom. You smiled. That you cried watching a romance drama last month, and not just teary-eyed, full-on ugly crying. There was a dead silence for some time. You are bluffing. Oh, am I? Should I remind you? The scene where the guy proposed in the rain, and you sniffle, sniffle, wiping your nose like a toddler. The door flew open. You barely had time to register the movement before Jungkook grabbed your wrist and yanked you inside. The door slammed shut behind you, trapping you inside the bathroom with him. Say that one more time. You were still smirking despite your heart pounding. Oh, is the bad boy Jungkook embarrassed? His jaw clenched, but then suddenly his lips curved into a smirk, a dangerous one. You know what, nerd? If you're so obsessed with me crying, maybe I should give you a reason to cry too. Before you could react, he hooked an arm around your waist and pulled you flush against him. Your breath caught in your throat and his face inches closer. So close that his lips almost grazed your ear. He was shirtless, not just shirtless, his skin still damp from his shower, droplets of water slowly trickling down his toned chest, disappearing into the loose towel hanging dangerously low on his hips. His freshly washed hair fell in soft, wet strands over his forehead, making him look obnoxiously attractive. And now, you were trapped in his arms. What happened now? Did you lose your voice? You stiffened, trying to ignore how warm his body was this close. How dare you touch me, huh? Hands pressed against his bare chest, but you can feel his muscles flex. Jungkook smirked, his fingers trailing lightly over the counter beside you, slow and deliberate. Make me. Your stomach flipped. His tone was deep, teasing, laced with something darker that sent a shiver down your spine. His eyes, sharp and filled with mischief, locked onto yours, amusement dancing in them as he leaned in, closing the distance just enough to make your breath hitch. His lips hovered way too close, a silent challenge lingering in the air between you. I swear, John Jungkook, you said while trying to push him, but he didn't budge. He smirked, leaning in slightly. What, you'll scream? Go ahead, baby, but you might want to remember. We are in a bathroom. Sound echoes. You swallowed hard, forcing a glare. I hate you. Jungkook chuckled, tilting his head slightly. His fingers feather-like traced the length of your arm, testing, taunting. Yeah, then why are you shaking, sweetheart? You jerked away from his touch, face burning, but the smirk on his lips only deepened, as if he knew exactly what he was doing to you. You are unbelievable, John. I swear you are just a. Jungkook's smirk didn't waver. Instead, his voice dropped lower, the heat between you thick enough to suffocate. A what? Your breath caught, his body heat, the scent of fresh soap mixed with something inherently him, was intoxicating. Your gaze flickered unwillingly to the way his damp hair fell over his forehead, how droplets of water trailed down the defined lines of his chest, disappearing beneath the towel slung dangerously low on his hips. Your pulse hammered, one small movement and nope, absolutely nope. You shoved against his chest, hard, breaking the moment. Get away from me, you idiot. Jungkook stepped back, laughing lazily, running a hand through his wet hair. His gaze never left yours, dark and knowing. Whatever you say, baby. And just like that, he turned away, strolling back towards the shower, like he hadn't just stolen the air from your lungs, like he hadn't just left your thoughts an absolute mess. You practically launched yourself out of the bathroom, slamming the door behind you, pressing a hand to your racing heart. You hated him. You were enemies forced into a marriage. The lecture hall burst with the usual excitement surrounding John Jungkook's presence. He sat in his usual spot, legs stretched out, arms crossed, exuding effortless confidence. His fan base, girls from every department, gathered around him, whispering, giggling, stealing glances. Jungkook is seriously so hot, and he's single. I still can't believe it. Of course he is. If he had a girlfriend, we would know by now. Jungkook didn't bother correcting them. He never did, and frankly, you didn't care. It was better this way. Those girls were crazy, and if they ever found out you were his wife, you wouldn't be surprised if they tried to burn you at the stake. You walked past the crowd, ignoring the way Jungkook's gaze flickered towards you for the briefest second before he returned to whatever nonsense his friends were talking about. But the moment the professor entered, the room settled. Class, we have a new transfer student joining us today. Professor Choi announced. Mingyu, come introduce yourself. The moment he stepped in, the room shifted. He was tall, broad-shouldered, sharp features, and a confident smile that made half of the girls in the class swoon instantly. Even you had to admit he was incredibly handsome. I'm Mingyu, he said smoothly. Nice to meet you all. The professor scanned the room. Wyan, since you are one of our top students, you will be helping Mingyu catch up on the syllabus. Take the seat next to her, Mingyu. You nodded, shifting slightly as Mingyu sat beside you, flashing a bright grin. Looks like we'll be study partners, huh? You chuckled lightly. Guess so. Across the room, Jungkook's jaw clenched. His eyes narrowed as he watched the way Mingyu leaned slightly towards you. How you didn't seem the least bit uncomfortable with his presence. Too close. He's too freaking close. Jungkook's fingers tapped impatiently against his desk, his focus no longer on the lecture but on the way Mingyu was taking his seat, the seat next to you, his place. Each time Mingyu whispered something to you, making you smile, Jungkook's irritation grew. He didn't hear a single word of the lecture. He was too busy waiting, counting the minutes. As soon as class ended, the moment the professor dismissed the class, Jungkook was out of his seat before anyone else. Mingyu turned to you. Hey Ryan, do you have time after class? Maybe we could. Jungkook yanked your bag from your desk before you could answer. She doesn't have time. You looked at him in disbelief, Jungkook. Before you could even register what was happening, Jungkook was grabbing your wrist, yanking you up from your seat. She's coming with me, Jungkook said, voice sharp. Mingyu frowned. I don't think. Jungkook tightened his grip on your wrist. I wasn't asking. And with that, he dragged you out of the classroom. Whispers erupted behind you. Did Jungkook just wait? Are they together? No way. He said he was single. You struggled against his grip, hissing, Jungkook, what the hell is your problem? He didn't stop until you were in the middle of the hallway, surrounded by his usual fan club. Then he whirled on you, his eyes blazing. My problem? You really wanna ask me that right now? You yanked your wrist free, glaring. Yes, I do. What's your deal? Are you out of your mind? Jungkook stepped closer, forcing you to tilt your head up. His voice dropped dangerously low. You think I didn't see you? Laughing at his jokes, letting him touch you? Your heart skipped, but you weren't going to let him have the upper hand. Smirking, you crossed your arms. Oh, Jungkook, are you jealous? Aren't you single? His jaw ticked. Don't push me, Ryan. He warned. You tilted your head. Or what? Jungkook's smirk was deadly. He leaned down, voice dropping to a husky whisper. Or I'll remind you exactly who you belong to. Before you could process what he meant, before you could even breathe, his hand shot up, gripping your waist and pulling you flush against him. Your eyes widened. Jungkook, what are you? And then his lips crashed onto yours. Gasps echoed around you. Your brain short circuited. Jungkook was kissing you, not soft, not hesitant, claiming, dominating like he owned you. You felt his fingers tighten on your waist, pulling you even closer, his body heat burning through your clothes. Your heart was pounding, your knees nearly giving out, but before you could completely lose yourself, he pulled back just enough to whisper against your lips. Now they know. You barely had a second to react before he turned towards the stunned crowd. Expression smug, he wiped his bottom lip with his thumb and announced, She's mine. The hallway went silent. Your breath was still stuck in your throat. Your lips were still tingling. And just like that, John Jungkook, the untouchable heartthrob of the university, had just shattered every rumor about his single status, and you were still standing there, stunned, breathless, realizing that everything had just changed.